Okay, so good day guys. Let's continue our topic about IP addressing IPv6 addressing. So we are now in IPv6 address types. Okay, so these are the three types of IPv6. Again, we have unicast. Unicast is there are three broad categories of IPv6 addresses. First, we have unicast. Unicast addresses are designed to one-to-one communication. No? So, when a device sends a packet to a unicast address, meaning we have a single or a specific interface to another device. So, for example, think like a mailing letter to one person, no? So only one person also opens and read it. Okay? So in IPv6, this is most common, no? Common type address includes like we have global unicast address or GUA, meaning these addresses is routable over the internet. Okay? And the link local addresses under unicast address, this is used for a communication within the local network segment. Okay. Second, categories for IPv6 addresses, we have multicast. Okay. So multicast allows one-to-many communication, meaning a single packet sent to a multicast address. This is delivered to all interfaces and have subscribed to all the multicast group. So it's like a broadcast news, no? For example, a broadcast news to a group, no, of interested listeners. Everyone who is part of that group receives that broadcast. Okay, that news. So ang IPv6 uses this mechanism, multicast, extensively for function like, for example, neighbor discovery, routing protocol communications. Okay? So, our IPv6 is crucial because um, does not use broadcast like, for example, IPv4. And instead of multicast, no, the role more efficiently, so most likely, no. So in the last part of the category is anycast. So anycast it uses unicast assigned to multiple devices. So it is spread across different location. But here's the magic packets. It's to send to an anycast address and delivered to the closest device in terms of routing distance. So, ang distance ay kinoconsider dito na time, no? So, it's a perfect for load balancing, okay, and optimizing the performance. So, a real world this is a representation of um, any cast, no? Okay, so again, our IPv4 used broadcast addresses to send packets to all devices, which would be inefficient and noisy. While see IPv6 improves our IPv4. So on this IPv6, it improves on this replacing the broadcast, no, with all the nodes of multicast. Like for example, um, FF02 colon 1. So this is a multicast, no, which is elegant and reaches all the devices without overwhelming the network. Okay, next we have the IP prefix length. Okay, so what is prefix length in IPv6? Okay, so the prefix length is written slash notation like slash 64 and tells us also how many bits, no, of the addresses that are reserved for a network portion. So technically, go from the 0 bits or /0 or no bits reserved up to 128 slash 128, meaning the entire address is specific in practice. Okay, so why we have /60, why is /60 67 64? Okay, why /64? So a /64 na prefix length is strongly recommended, no, for most networks, especially our local area network. So this allows our devices to auto-configure their own addresses using SLAAC, or SLAAC, stands for Stateless Address Auto Configuration, and depends on having 64 bits available for the interface portion. So nag-half lang siya, no? Because IPv6 contains 128 bits. Then we have 64 bits for network and 64 bits for interface or prefix and interface. Okay, so this allows our auto-configure, no, their own devices using SLAAC stateless auto-configuration. Each depends on 64 bits available for the interface portion. And this is also makes our subnetting a breeze, no? Since every subnet, no, has a clean 64-bit boundary, meaning less math, fewer headaches, no? Fewer headaches. So, in a real-world analogy, imagine our IPv6 is like a mailing address again. So, the prefix is like a street or a house number. It gets you the right location. While our interface ID is same like the name of the person in the house, it tells you exactly who should receive the message. So that our /64 split is not just arbitrary, it is a distance or design choice that makes our IPv6 more scalable, efficient, and future-proof. Okay? Yeah. So that's how prefix IPv6 length, no, works. So we have here a type of IPv6 unicast addresses. Unlike our IPv4 devices, we have only single addresses. While IPv6 addresses typically have two unicast address, we have the global unicast address and link local address. Okay? When we say global unicast address, this similar with the IPv4, no, version, but these are globally unique, internet routable addresses, meaning this is routable over the internet and globally unique. Okay, then it start typically with a 2000 colon a 2000 double colon /3 na it's assigned by our internet service provider, or it allocated by a larger pool, no? And it's used for devices that need end-to-end reachability over the internet. Okay? So, next we have our LLA, or a link local address. So, in every IPv6 enabled device must have only one. So, it begins with FE80 colon colon /10. So, it begins with if A80 colon colon /10. So, LLA is not routable beyond the local link. It used for device-to-device communication on the same network segment. So this is crucial for operation like a neighbor discovery and routing protocol exchange. Okay? So, additionally, our special unicast addresses, for example, in a loopback address, we have colon colon 1 slash 128. So this tests no our traffic on the same device, and the unspecified address like same with colon colon slash 28. You have to use when a device doesn't have an address yet, like for example our domain DHCP v6 request, and a unique local address or ULA or ULA. If C00 colon slash 7 is similar to IPv4 private addresses. Okay? Ayan. So, embedded IPv4, no? Embedded IPv4, IPv4 map to our IPv6, meaning a compatibility mechanism for a dual stack environment. Okay? So, yun diniscuss ko before, meron tayong dual, no? Dual cast. I think, nandito to sa slide. Wait lang. I'll check the slide. Ayan. We have this dual stack mechanism. One of the migration techniques, no, of IPv4 to IPv6. So, yun, mostly ginagamit yung dual stack. Okay? Okay. Next, we have a note about our unique local address. So, our ULA versus our RFC 1918 addresses. ULA, it range to FC from FC 00 colon slash 7, and often used as FD 00 colon slash 8. It might look like a IPv6 versions of IPv4 private addresses like 162.168 x 0.0 or 10.0.0.0. And here is the big shift, no, of ULA. Okay, so ULAs are not meant for a security through obscurity, while our RFC 1918 addresses are sometimes misused, no, in a way to hide our network from our external threats. Like ULAs were never meant to be a security tool. Okay, and so why ULAs are not a security mechanism? No, so ULA is not routable in a global internet. No, ULA is not routable on the global internet, but relying on hide services like dangerous assumption. No, so the proper IPv6 network security should come with the firewall. We have the segmentation and access control, and not unreachability siya of the address types alone. Okay? Ayan. So, our IPv6 GUA or Global Unicast Address, so it is globally unique, no, and routable on IPv6 into the internet or globally. Currently, only GUAs what the first 3 bits of 001 or 2000 double colon slash 3, meaning the first 3 bits are 001. Okay, so this gives the first hextet. That ranges from 200 to 3FFF, and which is why you will see the GUA beginning with the 2 or 3 in hexadecimal. Okay? So the fact with this, so fun fact of this, I don't know, this is only for 1 over 8 of the total IPv6 address space. Okay? Yeah. So imagine of this image or this figure. Okay, so we have here our figure about GUA. So we uh, it is divided into three. We have the global routing prefix. So this global routing prefix will identify your network on a global IPv6 internet. And this subnet or subnet ID allows further subdivision. So dito yung magdi-divide ng mga subnets in this portion with your, for example, organization or ISP assigned block siya. While this interface ID, it uniquely identifies an interface with the subnet, often using the SLAAC, no, or SLAAC with our 64-bit value. So our GUA are what give IPv6 the massive scaling, but that is potential, no, that it was built for. Okay, so yan, there are there are divided in three. Again, we have the global routing prefix, we have the subnet ID, and interface ID. Okay, so ours, if 001, it ranges our first hectex into 01, 000, uh, then 11 equivalent to 3FFF. Okay, so the first hex text start with 001000, so meaning 2000. Okay, so we have here our IPv6 GUA structure. So they discussed in the previous slides. We have the three divided into three. We have global routing prefix, subnet ID, and interface ID. Okay, so in a global routing prefix, the global routing prefix is the prefix or the network or a portion of the address that is assigned for by a provider. Like for example, internet service provider, or we have example PLDT, we have ano pang mga ISP dito sa Pilipinas. We have the Globe, we have the Converge, no? To a customer or a site. Okay? So this global routing prefix can vary depending on the policy of each ISP, no? Okay, so that's how global routing prefix work. For our subnet ID naman, this is the field that the field is the area between our global routing prefix and our interface ID. So this subnet ID is used by the organization to identify each subnet with its site. So meaning, ito yung gagamitin natin for subnetting. Okay? For the interface ID, so our IPv6 interface ID is equivalent to our host portion. Okay? So, same with IPv4 addresses. So, it is strongly recommended in the most cases that /64 subnets should be used, which it creates our 64-bit interface ID. See? So, if we will use this 64-bit interface ID, ilang host kaya ang ma-create nito, no? So there are a lot of hosts can be provide, no? Can we provide if this is the prefix of subnets. Okay. And next we have the IPv6 LLA. Kanina, we discussed our IPv6 GOA structure, and now we have IPv6 LLA. So, what is IPv6 LLA? IPv6 is a IPv6 link local address, or LLA. It enables a device to communicate with our IPv6 with other IPv6 enabled devices on the same link, and only that link, or we have the subnet, only that subnet, meaning the packets with a source or a destination, LLA cannot be routed, and our IPv6 enabled network interface must have our LLA. Take note, guys. If the packet with the source or destination, ang ating LLA cannot be routed. Kung IPv6 enabled network interface, or for example, host, kailangan meron siyang LLA. Kung ang LLA natin is not configured manually sa ating interface, the device will not automatically create one. Okay? So, IPv6 LLA are in the FE800:/10 range, no? 10 range. Okay, so ayan, no? So, ang scope ng LLA are not only valid for a single local link or subnet. Okay? So, these devices used to communicate with neighbors, like for example, routers, switches, and other connected in the same network segment. Okay? Again, this is not routable, no? They can't be routed beyond link local, meaning our packet with an LLA as a source or a destination will never leave the local network. Okay? So, it also automatically assign if you don't manually configure one, the operating system will create automatically using this type of prefix, like for example, if E800:/10 range or prefix. Okay? Then we have the 64-bit interface identifier, often derived by our MAC address, and universally required. Our every IPv6 interface must have an LLA, no? So even routers use LLAs to exchange our routing information via protocols, like for example OSP FV3 version 3, or EIGRP for our IPv6, or RIPNG, no? Ayan. Okay. Next, we have the GUA and LLA static configuration. So, we're in the fourth phase na tayo. Okay, so this is the GUA configuration sa ating router. So, most of our IPv6 configuration and verification commands using the Cisco IOS, no, are similar to their IPv4 counterparts. So, in many cases, the only difference of this we use of IPv6 in the place of IP within the commands. Okay? So, our command to configure our IPv6 GUA on an interface, we have IPv6 address. Okay? So, yung before, IPv4 address, ngayon, IPv6 address. And the prefix length. Okay? So, we have here an example commands, no? So, first command is to access, no, the interface. So, for example, we have R1, which defines, which is our router 1. Then, configuration. Then, we have here our command for accessing our interface. We have interface gigabit Ethernet space 0/0/0, and then enter. So once we enter this, um, meron na siyang, from config, meron na siyang dash config, no, in this next line. So after that, if um, already set, no, yung ating so meaning this tells, no, our router are about to configure our G or gigabit Ethernet 0/0 interface. Now we will assign the global unicast address. Okay, so how to provide the global unit address. So for example, IPv6 space address space 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 1, then double slash. When we say double slash, double colon, if double colon, meron siyang mga zeros dito in the middle. So kaya sa second rule ng ating IPv6 structure, no? So double colon 1, then slash 64. Then after entering this, so you have to type, of course, no shutdown. Okay, so kanina, no, IPv6 address 2001 colon dba colon acad acad colon 1, then double colon 1/64. You are assigning a GUA with a 64 prefix. So the address of this is 2001 db8 acad 1 colon 1 double colon 1 is a structured IPv6 up to 2001 colon db8 double colon /32. It is often to use in documentation and labs, no? So ang /64 allows our router to support the SLAAC or SLAAC and a standard subnetting practices. Okay? So para ma-enable po natin yung ating interface, you have just typed the no shutdown. Then just like the IPv4 interface, our Cisco routers are administratively shut down by default and the command activates it. Okay? And then exit for interface configuration mode. Okay? Ayan. So we have here a example of static GUA configuration in the Windows host. Ayan. So we have manually configuring our IPv4 address on a host, and similar to configuration of IPv4 address. Ang nakakaiba lang dito, we will select the IPv6 address, not IPv4. Okay? So our GULA here or LLA of the router interface can be used as our default gateway. So this is the best practice to use, no, of LLA. So as you can see here, so just like IPv4, no, Windows allows us to configure our IPv6 address manually. So you just go to control panel, I think. So right click lang dito, kahit dito. Yan. Network, no, select ka lang ng control panel, network and sharing center. Then makikita mo doon ang change adapter settings. So makikita natin doon. And then right click yung network adapter. Right click mo lang network adapter, then you choose the properties. Then after you have to select the properties, makikita mo ito dialog box. Okay? So ayan, Internet Protocol version 6, TCP/IP IPv6 properties. And then you just type manually, you know. So for example, nandito 2001 our IP address ng ating host 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 1 double colon 10. Then we have the subnet prefix length of 64 and our default gateway is 1 colon colon 1. Okay? So So this is how we configuring manually our IPv6 IP address. Okay. Okay. Ayan. And for our static GUA configuration of our link local unicast address, so kanina we configure manually, dynamically, statically, I mean, our GUA sa Windows host. So, ang ano dito, sa Windows, we can do, we can do manually, with GUI, with GUI, configuring manually our IPv6. While kung nag-Linux po tayo, so you will do commands talaga, Commands talaga yung gagamitin natin. You cannot do this kind of dialog box, Wala tayong features, I think. So wala tayong features ng sa Linux. Okay, so next we have the static GUA configuration of our link local unicast address. So in configuring our LLA manually, let's create an address and recognizable, easier to remember. So our link local address can be configured manually using the IPv6 addresses by applying IPv6 link local address na command. Link local command. Okay? So we have here a command, example of commands that shows commands to configure our LLA on our G0/0/0 interface on our router 1. Okay? So why we manually configure our LLA, Again, we have first reason, it is in terms of recognizability, meaning when we setting something, like FE 80:1:1 makes it easier to identify that the router and interface compared to our auto-generated LLA based on our MAC address. Then also, one of the reason is consistency. Another reason is consistency. Our network admins often assign structured LLA across routers and interface to simplify the troubleshooting and routing protocol configuration. The last one is control, when we using the routing protocols like OSP F version 3 or EIGRP on our IPv6, knowing that exact LLA you'll use makes the configuration verification much cleaner. Okay, so again, the recap of our command: interface gigabit 0:0:0:0, IPv6 address if E80:1:1. Then don't forget to add link-local command. And then next, same with our IPv4, no shutdown, and then exit. Okay? Okay. So we are done with our static GUA configuration of a link local unicast address. Now let's move on to dynamic addressing for IPv6 GUA. So dynamic na po tayo. Okay. So wait lang. Okay, so in dynamic addressing, or RS router solicitation and RA or router advertisement, so when our IPv6 enabled device join a network, it needs an address. Then under kailangan yung address na uh, fast. So that's where our RS and RA messages, no? So for example, we have RS or router solicitation, no? This message, no, sent by the host device to discover our IPv6 address. Meaning, uh, again, so it's sent by our host to ask our routers of a link local for addressing info. So it's like a student tracing on their hand to ask, is there a teachers there? So just as analogy or example lah. And so this how our RS or router solicitation ID, works. And next we have RA or router advertisement. Okay, so these messages are sent by the routers, kanina by devices yon para ma-discover yung ating IPv6 routers. Dito sa router advertisement, it's sent by the routers para ma-inform yung host on how to obtain our IPv6 GUA and provide useful network information. Okay? Such as we have network prefix and the prefix length. For example ng prefix, we have 2001 DV8 ACAD colon 1 colon colon slash 64. So 64 is the prefix length. When we say default gateway, it's usually the router's link local address. And for our DNS server or DNS address for domain name, or we have RAs also. The RAs can provide also the three methods, no, of configuring our IPv6 GOA. We have wait lang. Okay, we have the Slack. Okay, we have the Slack. We have the Slack with stateless DHCP via version 6 server, stateless DHCP version 6, no Slack. So these are the three methods in configuring the IPv6 GUA. Okay. Okay. So how Slack works? First method is Slack. So the Slack allows the device to configure our GUA without the services of DHCP version 6, meaning when a host joins in a network, so it sends a router solicitation message to discover if our any IPv6 routers are present. Okay, so take note guys, router solicitation, kung router solicitation from our host to ask the routers kung mayroon siyang link local addressing information. Okay? So, ayan, yung first step. Then, second step, a nearby response with a router administration advertisement, which includes the IPv6 prefix for the network. For example, 2001/64, no? Flags that tells the host whether to use the Slack or is LAAC and DHCP version 6 or both, no? Okay. Then the host builds the global unicast address or GUA by combining the prefix from the RA and 64-bit interface ID created in one of two ways. Okay, so we have here, and the UEI/64 format extend the device of our MAC address into 64-bit interface ID. Okay? Ayan. Then the method 2, Method 2. So, an RA can instruct our device to use both Slack and stateless DHCP. Okay, so using network prefix from the router and the generated interface ID. Okay? Ayan. So, a stateless DHCP v6 server supplies a supplemental configuration, like for example DNS server addresses, DNS domain name server addresses, domain name information, possibly other non-address related, like for example mga SIP servers. Okay? Ayan. So as you can see here in our our figure, so from router, no, kung RA or tawag dito, kung RA po siya, ano yung RA, router advertisement, no? So from the server sends to our host, and our host, so the first step, no, the first step of this Slack and stateless DHCP. So from the host, send a message to our router, and now a router will send the message to our host. And then if we have a DHCP server, so we will ask for a DHCP version 6 to solicit some IP addresses, no? Assigned IP addresses. Okay. Ayan. So we are done with Slack. So let's move to method 3. A stateful DHCP. So our RA can instruct a device to use a stateful DHCP version 6 only. When we see DHCP, DHCP version 6 is similar to DHCP for an IPv4. So again, when a host connect to our network, our RA or router advertisement is received from the router. So this time, the RA has the M flag or manage address flag set to 1, telling the host, okay, don't generate your own address and go back to your DHCP server instead. And then the host contacts the stateful DHCP server. Ayan, tingnan nyo yung ating figure, guys, na so ang stateful DHCP server, which provides what? We have number 1, it provides a global unicast address or GUA. It provides the prefix length, DNS server IP, okay, and optional information like for example domain name, the NTP servers, etc. No? So the default gateway here is still in the router's link local address or LLA, which is given via router advertisement. Okay? So take note, guys, about router advertisement and yung isa, yung tawag dito yung isa, our RA and RS, okay, or router solicitation. So don't forget that. Okay. Okay, so let's move to EUI, no? EUI slash dash 64 process and versus randomly generated. So when the RA's message is either in the Slack or a Slack with stateless DHCP version 6, the client must generate its own interface ID. Okay? So the interface ID can be created using the EUI-64 process, or it's randomly generated our 64-bit number. Okay, so for example, um, again, based on the device of MAC address, our MAC usually use 48 bits. Okay, and it splits in half, as you can see here in our it's split in half, and the FFE is inserted in the middle to form our 64-bit ID. And then in the 7th bit there, in the 7th bit, or a universal local bit is flipped to indicate the globally unique or locally administered. So for example, a MAC address, okay, of D2 colon 65 colon 75 colon 75 colon CE colon EO, it becomes the interface ID of D065, okay, 47FF, okay, then FA75. So sa 65 nadagdagan po, sa 65 nadagdagan siya ng D065, and then sa 65 sa 47 nadagdagan siya ng character na hexa is 47FF, then colon, and we have 75 here, nadadagdagan siya ng FE75, and the last one we have ang second the last, combined na po siya, then we have CEEO, yan, or CEE0, I mean. Okay, ayan. So it's random generated ID. A device generates a fully random 64-bit number for its interface ID. So it is used when our privacy extensions are enabled para ma-avoid yung tracking across networks. So again, sa method based, ang EUI-64, ang gagamitin niya, this method, gagamitin niya based on MAC address, based on consistency, stable siya, and the privacy is low, trackable siya, trackable. Okay, so sa random, ang method ng random RNG, ay under method, so it based on the algorithm, RNG or algorithm, pero yung consistency varies, but the privacy is very high, very high. So both methods are widely supported, and which one a device uses depends on OS behavior. So same with our mga scheduling algorithm, so magdedepende sa OS behavior or operating system behavior, network policy, and privacy settings. Okay, so again, we have here how the EUI-64 process, So the IEEE standards defined the extended unique identifier, or EUI, or a modified EUI-64 processes, which performs the following: 1, our 64-bit value of our FFE in hexadecimal is inserted into the middle of the 64-bit, 48-bit na Ethernet MAC address of the client. Then again, in the 7th bit of the client MAC address is reversed from 0 to 1. Okay, So this is the example, a 48-bit MAC. We have FC, colon 99, colon 47. So, ayan. CEO. So, yan yung example natin. Okay? Okay. So, let's randomly generated interface ID. Okay, dito, depending on the operating system, so our device may use randomly generated interface ID instead of using the MAC address and the EUI-64 process. So beginning with our Windows base, no, our Windows uses randomly generated interface ID instead of one created with EUI-64. So there's a note here, para ma-ensure natin uniqueness ng ating IPv6, unicast address, the client may use process known as duplicate address detection. So this is similar with the ARP request for its own addresses or address. No? If there is no reply, then the address is unique. Okay. Next, dynamic LLAs. So, ang dynamic LLAs, so pupunta natin sa dynamic addressing for our IPv6 LLAs. Okay? So, dynamic LLAs, how they work, no? Paano siya mag-work yung dynamic LLAs? For every IPv6 enabled interface, it must have an LLA or link local address. If one is not manually configured, then the system will automatically generate using the reserved prefix of FE800:10. And this identifies the address as link local, valid only within the local network segment. Okay? So, a 64-bit interface ID created by either the EUI-64 processes or a randomly generated 64-bit number. Okay? So, why LLAs, dynamic LLA matter? Okay? Because there's no need to have a DHCP or a manual setup. The devices can immediately communicate on the link, the local link, no? So, in the use of Network Discovery Protocol or NDP, the router advertisement and routing protocol exchanges. Okay? So, even our router use LLAs to talk to each other, for example, especially in protocols like OSPF version 3 and EIGRP for IPv6. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so this is the example of checking, the generated interface ID of EUI-64. Okay, so Windows IP configuration, if you type in the command prompt, you just type ipconfig, then this information will display. Windows IP configuration, Ethernet adapter local area connection, the connection specific DNS DNS suffix, wala. IPv6 address, we have 2001:DBA, ACAD, :1, then FC99, 47FF, FE65, and CE0. So, dito, sa ating link local, so, if A80, FC69, 47FF, FE75, CEO. Then the default gateway is FE80::1. So from our random 64-bit generated interface ID, ito po yung kanyang generated settings or information. Okay? Okay. So, next we have, so meron tayong mga packet tracer activity. So, just access our Network Academy account and look for a IPV's packet tracer activities there. Baka sa summative natin, no, after summative na exam, we have a summative packet tracer activity also. Okay, so try to exercise or practice our exercises there in packet tracer exercises there in our Network Academy account. Okay? Okay, so next, let's move to IPv6 multicast addresses. Wait lang, parang there's kulang. Okay? So, ito yung dynamic LLA for Cisco routers. So, Cisco routers automatically create an IPv6 LLA whenever our GUA is assigned to the interface. So, by the default, the Cisco IOS routers use EUI64 to generate the interface ID for all the LLAs on IPv6 interfaces. Okay? So, this is the example on dynamically configured on G000 G0/0/0 interface on the router 1. Okay, so as you can see, we just type there show space interface space gigabit ethernet space 0/0/0, then enter. So this information will display. Okay, so gigabit ethernet 00 is up, the link protocol is up, the hardware is this, then the address is this one, yan. Okay, and then when we show our IPv6 interface brief, okay, so this will display, no? Giga Ethernet up over up. Ayan. If dynamically configure our 00 interface in R1, so we will check show interface gigabit Ethernet and then show IPv6 interface brief. So these are the examples of informations when LLA is dynamically configured, no? So yan. Okay, so try to access our packet tracers from Network Academy. Okay. Okay, so next topic we have the IPv6 multicast address. Okay. So IPv6 multicast address have a prefix of FF00::/8, meaning there are two types of IPv6 multicast addresses. There are two types of multicast IPv6 addresses. First, we have the well-known multicast address and solicited one multicast address. Take note that multicast addresses can only be destination addresses and not for our source addresses. Okay. So, for well-known IPv6 multicast addresses, these are assigned, no, and reserved for a predefined groups of devices. There are two common of IPv6 assigned multicast group. First, we have the all-node multicast group with the address of FF02::1, meaning this is the multicast group that all our IPv6 enabled devices join. So a packet sent to the group is received and processed by all IPv6 interfaces on the link of our network. Okay? So in an FF02::2, meaning all our routers multicast groups. So this is a multicast group that all our IPv6 routers join, no? So a router becomes a member of this group when it is enabled as an IPv6 router with an IPv6 unicast routing global configuration command. Okay? So, ito yung solicited node IPv6 multicast. Okay? Okay. So, another activity sa lab, nasa Network Academy. Subnetting in IPv6 network. Ayan, subnetting na tayo. Subnet using the subnet ID. So, dito lang tayo mag-subnetting sa subnet ID. Okay? So, IPv6 was designed with subnetting in mind. Okay? So, we have a separate subnet ID field of IPv6 GUA na ginagamit to create subnets. So, the subnet ID field is the area between our global routing prefix and our interface ID. So, take note that the other 64 is for interface ID. Supposedly, the other 64 is for divided into two. We have the 48 bits for our global routing prefix and just assign a 16-bit for the subnet ID. Ayan. So, for example, we have the given address of 2001 db8 ECAD /48 global routing prefix with 16-bit subnet. Okay, so given with this IP address, with a prefix of 48, this allows to create a 65,536 subnets /64. Okay, so the global routing prefix is the same all the subnets, and only the subnet ID hex step is incremented in hexadecimal for each subnet. Okay, so we have here IPv6 subnet allocation. Tingnan nyo guys. So we have two routers here and four switches with each switches has a host, no? So there are 5 subnets allocated for a 65,536 available subnets. So dito we use 2001 db8 ACAD 001/64. Okay, so the first subnet is for PC1, then the second subnet is for PC2, then the third subnet is link from router to router, and then for the next network we have the routed to PC3, and the last subnet routed to PC4. Okay, so this is the example of router interfaces on R1, pag-configure ng different IPv6 subnet. Okay, okay, so what we have learned from this module in IPv6. So IPv4 has a theoretical maximum of 4.3 billion addresses. So the IETF has created various protocols and tools to help network administrator migrate their networks to IPv6. So ang migration techniques can be divided into 3. We have the dual stop, tunneling, and translation. Most commonly, ang ginagamit nila ay dual stop. Pero itong tunneling and translation, depende kung kinakailangan, no? So, IPv6 addresses, there are 128 bits in length, and it is written as a string of hexadecimal values. And the preferred format of the writing of IPv6 address is we have x colon up to 8x with each x consisting 4 hexadecimal values. Okay, so there are three types of IPv6, unicast, multicast, and anycast. Previously in IPv4, we have only unicast, multicast, and broadcast. Okay? So, sa IPv6, nadagdagan siya ng unicast pero nawala yung broadcast. But, yung multicast at yung ang multicast dito sa IPv6 is most likely the same yung functionality niya doon sa broadcast. Okay? So, IPv6 unicast address uniquely identifies an interface on IPv6 enabled device, and IPv6 global unicast address or GUA are globally unique and routable IPv6 over the internet. IPv6 long local enables the device to communicate with other IPv6 enabled devices on the same link and only on that link subnet, meaning subnet lang. So, the command to configure the IPv6 GUA on interface is IPv6 address, IPv6-address, or the prefix length. So, a device obtains a GUA dynamically through ISCMP version 6 messages. Our IPv6 routers periodically send out ICM version 6 RA messages every 200 seconds, no? To all the IPv6 enabled devices on our network. So, RA or router advertisement messages have the three methods. Again, we have the SLAAC itself and SLAAC with a stateless DHCP server and the stateful DHCP server or DHCP version 6 with no slack. Okay? So those are the three messages, no, or methods of messages for a router advertisement. For the interface ID, can created using the EUI 64 process or it randomly generated 64-bit number. So our EUI processes uses 48-bit interface MAC address of our client and inserted another 16-bit in the middle, no, of MAC address para ma-create yung 64-bit interface ID. So, depending on the operating system, again, our device may use randomly generated interface ID. So, lahat ng IPv6 must have an IPv6 LLA. Our LLA can configure manually or created dynamically. Cisco routers automatically create an IPv6 LLA whenever a GUA is assigned to the interface. Okay, there are two types of IPv6 multi-addresses, the well-known multicast address and solicited node multicast address. So there are two common IPv6 assigned multicast groups. We have FF0200:1, all nodes multicast group, and F02:1, all routers multicast group. Okay? So basta 1, all nodes for the multicast. If FF02:2, all routers naman na multicast group. Okay? So, all solicited node multicast address is similar to all nodes in multicast address. Ang advantage niya ay ang advantage ng solicited node multicast address is that it is mapped to the special Ethernet multicast address. So, our IPv6 was designed with subnetting in mind. A separate subnet ID field with in IPv6 GUA is used to create the subnets. Okay? So, if you have questions, no, tomorrow, TN 110 will have a summative exam. So, we will start exams 7:30, 7:30, so that you have time to review. Okay, so I will upload this in a YouTube, then YouTube link, I will give you the YouTube link, para mas um, ma-view nyo siya kahit nasa phone, mas hindi mabigat. Okay, thank you guys and good day.